This is the first time that I'm speaking about it. Something that I'll never forget, actually.
A former assistant to Sean Diddy Combs speaking out in the new interview with new allegations about wild parties and use.
Imagine this. One of Hollywood's most adored stars, the man who made us laugh, cry, and cheer for decades, is now tangled in a scandal so dark, so twisted, it's hard to even wrap your head around it. Yes, we're talking about Will Smith. The same Will who charmed the world as the Fresh Prince, who fought aliens, robots, and even his own demons on the big screen. The same Will who sent shockwaves through Hollywood when he slapped Chris Rock on live TV at the Oscars. Remember that? Well, honey, that slap was just the appetizer, because now whispers have turned into roars. The question on everyone's lips: is Will Smith about to be arrested? Are we really witnessing the fall of one of the most iconic figures in entertainment? And let's just say, the rumors? They're not pretty.
It was my man. This is probably irreparable.
Now hold on, let's rewind for a second. This isn't just about some messy Oscars moment or the Smiths' famously unconventional marriage. This is deeper, this is darker, this is criminal. Word on the street, and by street we mean insiders close to the case, is that federal investigators have been building a case against Will for years, not months, years. Allegedly, there's a mountain of evidence, emails, phone calls, and witness statements that paint a very disturbing picture. And guess what? Will is allegedly not cooperating. And while the government tightens its grip, guess what Will's been up to? Reportedly selling off his prime real estate, big mansions, exotic properties, gone. Like he's bracing for a legal hurricane. And let's not forget about the legal dream team he's putting together. Think OJ-level defense. You don't do that unless you know something big is coming.
I would say don't just start filming me without asking me.
Oh my goodness.
If you could film me.
Astaire, come help us again, please. I'm still dealing with foolishness.
So here's where things take an even crazier turn. And the name Diddy enters the chat. Yup, Sean Diddy Combs. You've probably already heard the bombshell allegations swirling around him, lawsuits, indictments, and now leaked footage. But the shocking part? Will Smith's name is suddenly tied to this swirling mess, because these weren't just wild parties we're talking about. Oh no, these freak-offs, as they're being called, were reportedly some of the darkest Hollywood has ever seen.
And I know you said he explained all of the items that were involved in these Wild King nights. Did he mention who would participate as well?
A lot of them were unknown to him. He did mention that a lot of the women were very, very young as 20, not underage, but certainly young women.
Diddy's parties were legendary in Tinseltown, but not for the reasons you'd hope. We're talking about events so meticulously planned you'd think it was a movie set. Travel arrangements, hotels, hand-selected entertainment, and a guest list full of A-listers. And guess whose name keeps coming up in connection with these sinister soirees? Will freaking Smith. There are pictures, resurfaced photos showing Will and Diddy all buddy-buddy at various events. Now, a photo alone doesn't prove anything, but it does raise eyebrows, and the internet is losing its mind trying to connect the dots. Did Will know what was going on at these parties? Did he participate? Was he just there? Will's response? He laughed it off at a public event saying, "I don't even like baby oil." A joke. But with the details coming out now, no one's laughing.
A lot of times you'd have him with a younger female. There's a power dynamic there. A more impressionable girl is easier to reel in. Consent is between the people that are engaging, and I wasn't there in these situations to understand the consent.
These parties, according to federal prosecutors, weren't just naughty night outs. They were full-blown operations. People have come forward describing scenes that sound straight up demonic. Witnesses say they were manipulated, coerced, and exposed to acts that are so disturbing you wouldn't believe them if they were in a horror movie. And when authorities raided Diddy's properties, what they found was jaw-dropping. Cases of lubricants, mystery substances, and so-called party supplies that no normal party should have.
Did Phil explain why he's speaking out now?
He said he's speaking out because he believes Diddy's a predator. He wants accountability, and he doesn't want someone like this to run unchecked in the future.
And here's where it all circles back to Will. Authorities are reportedly probing whether he was a frequent guest at these events. If true, was he just casually mingling? Or was he doing something worse? Was he a passive bystander or an active participant? It's important to note, Will hasn't been charged yet, but where there's smoke, honey, there's usually fire. And with Diddy facing serious life-changing charges, the authorities are digging through every corner of his past, and Will's name just keeps popping up.
So that's where Diddy has been for months now, but last week he was taken to the hospital. According to reports from the New York Post, Diddy was transported from MDC in the cover of darkness at about 10 p.m. on January 30th. he was taken to a Brooklyn hospital for an MRI after reporting issues with his knee.
The most horrifying part? The lawsuits coming out of these events paint an absolutely chilling picture. Victims are claiming they were pushed into situations they never would have agreed to if they were sober, safe, or in control. Diddy's team says everything was consensual. But how can that be true when the list of accusers keeps growing? And if Will was there, even if he wasn't doing anything illegal, did he know? Did he see something and stay silent? Let's not forget, Diddy's arrest in late 2024 was a seismic moment in entertainment. Since then, the fallout has been swift. Associates are being questioned, properties are being combed through, reputations shattered, and Will's could be next.
We have some major breaking news. Sean Diddy Combs has just filed a $100 million defamation lawsuit against NBC Universal for the making of Diddy, the making of a Bad Boy documentary.
But now here's the twist. Not everyone believes Will's guilty. Some say he's being dragged down just because he happened to be near the fire. Is he just collateral damage in Diddy's crash and burn? Maybe, but the FBI isn't playing games. According to sources, they're building an ironclad case. A case so tight, even Will Smith's megawatt stardom won't be able to save him if he's involved. And with Diddy's court date coming fast, it's only a matter of time before we find out just how deep this rabbit hole goes.
It's a situation that I consider private.
You just feel like it ain't really nobody's business.
Yeah.
But now Black Twitter has claimed it.
But wait, this saga isn't just about legal troubles. There's another storm brewing much closer to home. A slow burn meltdown that's now exploding in full view. Will and Jada. Yep, that messy marriage is back in the spotlight and it's messier than ever. Combine the pressure of a crumbling relationship with potential criminal allegations, you've got the perfect Hollywood disaster. Absolutely. The drama is only heating up and we're about to peel back the layers on the Smiths' wild relationship and how it might be falling apart under all this pressure.
You and I were going through a very difficult time.
Yeah.
And we decided...
I was done with your ass.
Yeah, you kicked me to the curb.
I was done with you.
When it comes to Will and Jada, their marriage has always been one of Hollywood's biggest mysteries and biggest conversation starters. People have speculated for years about what's really going on behind those massive Calabasas gates. Open marriage? Situationship, strategic partnership, the rumors have been endless. Back in 2013, Jada raised eyebrows in a now infamous interview saying, "Will is his own man. I'm here as his partner, but he is his own man." What? That statement practically screamed, "We do what we want behind closed doors." And then she followed up with another cryptic gem on social media. "Will and I both can do whatever we want because we trust each other to do so. This doesn't mean we have an open relationship. This doesn't mean we have a grown one." Girl, what does that even mean? It was like they were trying to tell us something without telling us. And fans? Oh, we picked up every crumb.
Well, Jada Pinkett Smith drops a bombshell. Apparently, she and her husband, Will Smith, haven't been together for 7.
Then came the moment that broke the internet, the red table talk, the entanglement. Jada sat across from a visibly crushed Will Smith and told the world she had a relationship with singer August Alsina, while she and Will were amicably separated. But it wasn't the affair that shook people, it was the word entanglement, a PR word salad of epic proportions. And the look on Will's face? Whew, you could practically feel his soul leaving his body on camera. Sure, they tried to play it off like two mature adults working through it, but the damage was done. The internet roasted them for months. Memes, reactions, think pieces. It was clear this perfect couple had cracks.
There are so many surprising things in the book, but the thing that surprised me the most.
And now, that entanglement is starting to look like child's play compared to the current storm. With Will's name tangled in the Diddy scandal, people are starting to ask, what about Jada? Has she been completely clean in all of this? Or does she have skeletons she's keeping locked away too? Let's not forget, in 2023, during her Worthy book tour, Jada casually dropped another bombshell. She and Will had actually been living separate lives since 2016. That's 7 years of presenting themselves as a loving couple to the world, while behind the scenes, they were basically roommates. Let that sink in. 7 years.
In regards to how do we present that to people? You know?
And here's where it gets even messier. Some sources claim the separation wasn't even mutual. Allegedly, Will was clinging to the relationship, trying to keep things afloat, while Jada had already emotionally checked out. Others say this separation was more like a PR strategy, a way to avoid divorce headlines and keep the Smith brand intact while they each lived their own lives. And here's the tea. While Jada was giving spiritual lectures and writing memoirs, there were whispers. Yes, whispers. That she had been seen at events that looked eerily similar to the ones Diddy hosted. Wild, unfiltered, celebrity-fueled gatherings that blurred the line between spiritual exploration and, well, something else entirely. There's no hard proof yet. But in this town, where there's talk, there's usually truth.
I think we were both kind of still stuck in our fantasy of what we thought the other person should be.
Now the rumor mill is in overdrive, with Will potentially facing legal scrutiny and Jada allegedly meeting with divorce attorneys behind closed doors. Many believe we're watching the final chapter of their so-called grown relationship. What was once Hollywood's most fascinating and confusing marriage is now imploding in real time. And the kids? Caught in the chaos. Jaden and Willow have grown up in this fishbowl. Jaden especially has raised a few eyebrows with his off-the-wall interviews and cryptic statements. In one, he even revealed that Jada introduced the family to alternative spiritual practices, which, let's be honest, could mean anything. Are these just artistic kids speaking their truth? Or are they giving us glimpses into a much darker, messier family reality?
I made a promise that there will never be a reason for us to get a divorce. We will work through whatever.
As we wait to see how this all
And now we have to ask, what happens to Will Smith's legacy? This is a man who was once untouchable, a global superstar, a symbol of charisma, success, and family values. From Fresh Prince to Oscar winner, Will climbed higher than almost anyone in the industry. But now his name is tangled in allegations that could permanently taint that legacy. And Jada, she's always been seen as the calm, grounded yin to Will's yang. But if this marriage collapses completely, and if more is revealed about her alleged involvement in controversial circles, her own image could take a massive hit. Suddenly, their progressive, boundary-breaking marriage doesn't look so evolved. It looks like damage control. It looks like a cover-up.
I made a promise that there will never be a reason for us to get a divorce. We will work through whatever.
As we wait to see how this all
So where does that leave us? With an A-list couple at a dangerous crossroads, legal investigations, public humiliation, a crumbling marriage, and the world watching their every move. Will they weather the storm together like they've claimed so many times? Or will this be the final unraveling of a love story that may have been built more on performance than reality? And most importantly, what secrets are still hiding in the shadows? Because if there's one thing we've learned from this saga, it's that nothing is ever as it seems in Hollywood, especially when it comes to Will and Jada. So, what do you think? Is Will being dragged into something he had no part in? Or are the walls finally closing in on a man who's kept too many secrets for too long? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'll be watching. And we'll be back with the latest tea, because this story, oh baby, it's far from over. Let me know if you want this formatted for YouTube captions or if you need thumbnail title ideas next.